us who are here present to worship Yahweh in this beautiful Shabbat that He has blessed us with, a wonderful day where we can come before His presence to glorify His great name with rest, being refreshed by His power and being able to glorify His great name by the strength that He gives to us. And so we welcome the Shabbat and we welcome everyone as we gather to worship our King, Yahweh, of course. And we are thankful to Almighty Yahweh for being with us and for blessing us so that we can be here to worship Him on this peaceful evening. And we say, blessed you, Yahweh Elohim, you King of the universe, who make a distinction between holy and profane, between light and darkness, between Israel and the heathen nation, between the 7th day and the 6 working days. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who make a distinction between holy and profane. We're always thankful to Yahweh for the angels that are with us, doing such a great work for us in these times, bearing us so that we doesn't stumble against a stone and hurt ourselves, protecting us by the power of Yahweh. And so we say, peace be unto you, you ministering angels, you messengers of the Most High, the sovereign King of Kings, holy and blessed is He. And may your coming be in peace, you messengers of peace. And you bless us with peace, you messengers of peace, messengers of the Most High, the supreme King of Kings, holy and blessed is He. And so we ask Yahweh blessing upon everyone that is present here, our wives and our children, sons and daughters. May Yahweh bless you and keep you, and cause His face to shine upon you, and give you shalom. And so again, we gather here to honor Yahweh, because according to His word, He commands us to keep this day set apart, set aside, as we remember it, as He has given in Leviticus chapter 23, read from verse 1. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, the set feast of Yahweh, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocation, even days of my set feast. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath of solemn rest. The holy convocation, you shall do no manner of work. It is a Sabbath to Yahweh in all your dwellings. And so Almighty Yahweh has given us this day as a holy convocation, a time when we must convocate, we must gather and worship Him from the setting of the sun to the setting of the sun on the next eve. We are commanded by Almighty Yahweh to come before Him and to offer offerings of praise, to rest, and to worship Him. Also in Exodus chapter 23, and verse 12, 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your ass may have rest, and the son of your handmaid, and the sojourner may be refreshed. So you see, Yahweh commands everyone in our dwelling to do as we are doing. Just as He made mention in Exodus chapter 20, and even the stranger within their gates, so the handmaid and the sojourner also can be blessed and be refreshed, as Yahweh blesses those who honor Him and keep this day. And all things that I have said to you, take heed and make no mention in the name of other mighty ones. You will let it be heard out of your mouth. And so Yahweh reminds us that when we come before Him on the Shabbat, that we shouldn't be calling on the name of other mighty ones. So many people today profess to be keeping the Shabbat, and yet they are calling on pagan names, and pagan mighty ones, and see that they are keeping Yahweh holy Shabbat. But Yahweh warned us that we must always remember that He's a jealous God, and He wants us to call on Him and to worship Him and to do so in spirit and in truth. The prophet Isaiah, way down in his time, remembered the Shabbat as Yahweh commanded, and he kept it. And he also taught that the Shabbat is very important for everyone to observe. we look at chapter 56, there we see in this passage where he make mention of the blessing of the Shabbat and those who keep it, and also the importance of keeping the Shabbat. In Isaiah 56 from verse 1, in this manner says Yahweh, he says, keep justice and do righteousness, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Again, Yahweh always remind mankind that Yahshua the Messiah was to come, and so he came. Isaiah the prophet even mentioned about Yahshua, unto us a child is born, a son is given. And we know that he also mentioned a virgin shall bring forth a son. His name shall be called Emmanuel, Elohim with us. So his salvation is near to come, his righteousness to be revealed. And so Yahweh revealed the right doing and keeping of things in his commandment through his son, Yahshua the Messiah. He said, blessed is the man that does this, does what? And the Son of Man that holdeth fast. We are commanded to hold on to the Shabbat and don't let it go like many has done and is doing today. That keep the Shabbat from profaning it and keep his hand from doing any evil. So Isaiah the prophet is saying that we are going to be blessed, we are going to be happy when we do this command and please Yahweh, that hold, that guard, that keeps the Shabbat and don't do any evil. What is doing evil on the Shabbat or about the Shabbat? Is breaking the ordinance that Almighty Yahweh has laid down concerning the Shabbat. Jeremiah tells us about bringing in burden. Isaiah tells us about speaking our own words and stuff like that. Neither let the foreigner that join himself to Yahweh speak, saying, Yahweh will surely separate him from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, I am a dry tree. For thus says Yahweh of the eunuch that keep my Shabbat and choose the thing that please me. This is what pleases us, Almighty Yahweh, to keep his commandment, and the Shabbat is one of them. And hold fast my covenant. To them will I give in my house, and within my walls, a memorial, and a name better than sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And again, whenever we see everlasting name, you know that you must last forever to have an everlasting name. And this is eternity he's speaking about in the kingdom of Yahweh, going to be those who are keeping the Shabbat. Not only the 70, of all the Shabbats of Almighty Yahweh, he's going to give them an everlasting name. And as for those who would not keep, such as the feast days, they are not going to have an everlasting name given to them. In chapter 58 also, Isaiah continued to speak of the importance of this day. Isaiah says in verse 12 of chapter 58, and they shall be of you, shall build the old waste places, and you shall raise up the foundation of many generations, and you shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of the path to dwell in. Yes, this is what we want to be in these last days, because here he has prophesied of a people that are going to repair the breach and bring back the path that Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, even Yahshua walked in, the narrow path that was teaching the observance of the command of Yahweh in a very special way. This is how Almighty Yahweh wants us to do. You shall build the old waste places, and you shall raise up the foundation of many generations. This is why many people say that is past, that is old-time thing. That was for Israel and for the Jews. But Yahweh, through Isaiah, is making mention of the people in the last days that are going to repair the breach and build those old waste places that remain waste. The commandment has been lying there dormant, not being observed by any. And you shall raise up the foundation again. We worship Yahweh. like the ancient people does. Today you don't see that very much around. So we are raising up those foundations that has been lying dormant for so many years, many generations. And you shall be called a repairer of the breach, the restorer of the path to dwelling. You want to be named the repairer and the restorer in these last days to help those who have been wandering, even trampling on the commandments, to come and to have an opportunity to serve, to learn, to serve Yahweh in spirit and in truth. If you turn away your foot from the Shabbat, and so throughout the ages what people have been doing, but trampling on the Shabbat, they are saying the Shabbat has been done away, and they are observing and upholding the first day of the week. This is what Isaiah is prophesying even for our time. If people will only remove their feet from the Shabbat and rather worship Yahweh on this day and keep it holy, from doing your own pleasure. This is what people, so many have been doing throughout the past ages. They have been doing their own pleasure in their own business. This has become the most popular business today. Everybody want to do everything on the Shabbat. From doing your own pleasure on my holy day, Yahweh calls it His, just as He mentioned in Genesis. It remains holy. Isaiah in his time acknowledged the holiness of this day. And again, he prophesied that it's going to be in the kingdom holy the same way. Who are we to trample on this day and to say that this day has been done away with? And call the Shabbat a delight. This is what He wants us to do. Yahweh speaking through Him. He wants mankind to remove their feet from disrespecting Yahweh's Shabbat, trampling upon it, saying it has been done away with, doing as they please on it. If they would only remove their feet, stop doing their own pleasure, and then call it a delight, a delightful thing. You wouldn't take something that is precious to you and special to you and put it under your feet? No. Why is the world doing such abominable acts before Almighty Yahweh, like trampling on His Shabbat and holy days and His commandments? He's calling the repairer of the breach to teach others to remove their feet from trampling on the Shabbat and honor the Shabbat, have a delight in it, and the holy of Yahweh honorable, delight in it, and acknowledge it as a day that has been set aside, set apart by Almighty Yahweh for His honor and for His worship, and even honoring that day. Not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. This is how important it is for us when we gather to remember that we are not to do as we please on this day. This day is not as any other day. This day we must prepare to come before Almighty Yahweh. We have 6 days that He gave us to have our pleasure, to do our business, to talk our own words. But on this day, He wants us to be ready, to meet with Him, to offer to Him what He is looking forward to. Worship and praise and adoration and glory and communication even. We should cease communicating with ourselves, but communicate with Yahweh through His word, even though we speak with one another. But it must be about Yahweh. And so His angels are listening, and they're joining in the conversation as they inspire us like they did to Isaiah here, to speak with Yahweh and to speak the things of Yahweh. This is what the repairer of the breach is to focus on, to help others to see the vision of the future, the glorious age which the Shabbat represents. It represents a time when this world and this system And the pleasures of this life will be all gone. And only Yahweh and the glorious kingdom age of eternity is going to be with us. And then there will be nothing else for us to do but to communicate with Yahweh and to worship Him. This is what we must be preparing for. Not having your own pleasure, your own ways, but honoring Yahweh and honoring this day. Putting away that which displeases Him on this day. Then shall you delight yourself in Yahweh. It's going to be a joy, it's going to be a delight to know that we don't have to think about anything of this life that is so temporal. And the nature of it is just passing away. And we can think about heavenly things that are going to remain forever and ever. You are going to delight yourself in Yahweh. And I will make you to ride upon the high places of the earth, even to be blessed in that earth. And then the kingdom of heaven again is coming down upon this very earth. And those who keep the Shabbat, again, they are promised to ride upon the high places of the earth, to be above like the governments and the religions and everything. The repair of the breach and those who have learned from them and the lesson to respect and honor Yahweh, they are going to be above everything of this world. And I will feed you with the heritage of Jacob. Jacob has been promised through his father Isaac and grandfather Abraham. Blessing from Yahweh. In Isaac shall your seed be. And on and on. And even Yahshua the Messiah came to the same age. And so that heritage is to be like Yahshua, to be in the kingdom of Yahweh. They are going to be fed from the heritage of Jacob, and that is great blessing that Yahweh promised to Abraham and to his seed. For the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it, and that tells you that no one can change it. Yahweh has said it. If you keep this day, no matter what people may say to you, and you don't know what you're doing, and you are listening to God, Yahweh is saying, I have said it. Don't worry, don't bother with anyone else. If you honor me, and you honor this day, I am. No one can feed you. I am going to feed you with the heritage of Jacob, your father. My mouth has spoken it. I am going to cause you to ride upon the high places of the earth. No one can do that but me. This is great blessing when we understand how loving, how kind, and how good is our Father to give us such a day, a crack in the week, when we don't have to do anything but worship Him. Truly it is a foretaste of the glorious kingdom that is to come. A time when there will be no work, no discussion of anything else, but only glorifying Yahweh. In chapter 66, he concludes his prophesying by saying, new heaven and new earth is going to come one day. As Isaiah parted this life, he reminded Israel and Judah that Yahweh is real. He is true. His word is going to be fulfilled. In chapter 66 and verse 22, he said, for as the new heaven and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, says Yahweh. Yahweh is speaking to his people through Isaiah. It is going to come to pass one day. So shall your seed and your name remain. New heaven, the new earth, Yahweh has promised to make one day, and that is going to remain throughout eternity. And those who obey Him, His seed, His people, they are also going to remain. And it shall come to pass in that time that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come. You can see that Yahweh is waiting for such a time when all, today, there is not all flesh worshiping Him. But He's longing for that day when the end, He's going to cause the end to come. And He's going to cause all that remain Your seed and your name is going to remain. And all that remain, they are going to serve and worship Yahweh on the Shabbat and on the new moon. And they are going to bring worship to Him. This is what Yahweh is about. We can see, we can hear, and we can even feel it in these words of His. Surely a time is coming. From the days of Noah up until now, Yahweh hasn't seen all flesh coming to worship Him. He saw in the past all flesh corrupt. In the days of Noah, in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, even in our time, so many, the majority, they are corrupt. But He's looking for this day, again, when He's going to purge away that which is no good, that which corrupts from the earth. And He is going to be honored by all flesh that remain. They are going to come and worship before Him, says Yahweh. And they shall go forth and look upon the dead bodies of the men that have transgressed against me. We can hear the authority in these words. We can hear the power. We can see Yahweh with the joy again on that day when He is going to again show He is the victor, but He's going to show to mankind that I am the authority forever and ever and ever. I'm going to cause those who remain faithful, keeping my commandments, to see. And they are going to also be victorious over the enemies. And they are going to see them all dead. Their dead bodies, we shall go forth and look upon them. Those who transgress, who break, who violate, who trample upon the commandments of Almighty Yahweh. They trample against, they violate all that Yahweh has said. They transgress against His command. For their worm shall not die, He says. We can see again, we can hear the authority, the anxiety to do when that day comes. He is filled, the cup is filled with wrath. And Yahweh is waiting to pour, and He's going to do it. The dead bodies are not going to, the worms that are devouring them are not going to die. The worm shall not die, neither shall the fire be quenched. No, He's not going to have no mercy that time. He's not going to pardon. This is what it means. When the fire begins, no matter how anyone cries or groans or beg Yahweh or Yahshua the Messiah, He's reminding us today that fire is not going to quench, and it's going to be terrible. The worms, they are not going to die. You will long for the worms that are eating your flesh and you're alive. And you can actually see them eating away your flesh. And you're going to long for them to die. You're going to long for them to stop eating you away alive. And Yahweh is saying, they're not. Today He's speaking. No one is listening. He's warning man of such a time that is to come. And they're taking Him for granted. He cannot do that. He's a loving Father. I don't think so. Yahweh is warning. We can see and we can hear that this time is drawing near. I'm not going to cause the worm to die. I'm not going to cause the fire to quench. Wonders to behold, worms alive in the fire. Man being burned up, seeing and understanding that they are being burned and eaten away, with their lives waxing away slowly from them. This is a punishment that He has for the wicked. They are going to see it. It's going to be very, very horrible before their very eyes. The righteous are going to be able to behold these things upon those who have persecuted them, who has brought hard time upon them. They are going to see their enemies suffering, being punished by Yahweh in such a way. Neither shall the fire quench. There's not going to be any water to stop that. No one. No rain to stop that. No flood to stop that. And it shall be repulsive, terrible, upon not only some of the flesh, but upon all that have transgressed. In the days of Noah they suffered. In the days of Sodom and Gomorrah they perished at the judgment of Almighty Yahweh. And Yahshua tells us, so it's going to be like in the days of Noah, like in the days of Lot, when he left Sodom. And as Lot stepped out his feet out of Sodom and Gomorrah, there Yahweh rained fire and brimstone, even sulfur, from Yahweh in heaven. Yes, a wonderful time is coming. A kingdom age, a time of peace, the time of joy. But prior to that, destruction on this earth. The wicked is going to be no more. They are all going to be destroyed by the power of Yahweh Sabaoth. The kingdoms of this world are going to come down by and with the authority of Almighty Yahweh. And Yahweh's authority is going to be the last standing for all eternity. In Psalm 1, David says, blessed is the man, happy, who walk not in the counsel of the wicked, because they are seeking to gather, to assemble others for the Gehenna fire in the Hinnom Valley that has been prepared for Hasatan. But the man who escaped, who would not follow in the wicked counsel, he has been promised blessing. Nor stand in the way of sinners, so that you remove from their way. Don't sit in the seat of scoffers, those who mock at Yahweh and His word. It's a dangerous position to be in. But His delight, as Isaiah says, the Sabbath should be a delight. The laws of Yahweh, the feast days, must be a delight to Him. His delight is in the law of Yahweh. And on His law, His Torah, He must be meditated, not only in the day, but also in the night. It is very important to keep your mind on Yahweh and on His word. Ye shall be like a tree planted by the streams of water. Psalms 92 reminds us of that tree that is going to be full of sap and green and bringing forth fruit in its season. You can see it here also. That individual that is blessed by Yahweh is going to be just like a tree planted by that water. Especially the living water that Yahshua the Messiah spoke of, that bring forth the fruits in its season. Who leaf also does not wither. Your leaves that comes, your fruit that comes from you. You feed through the leaves, they are not going to wither away. You're always going to be healthy and strong. And whatever he does shall prosper. The Torah tells us that in Deuteronomy 27 and 28. The blessings and the curses. You are going to prosper and be successful, as Yahweh told Yahshua the general. If you keep the law of Yahweh in your mouth and meditate upon it, so shall your way prosper. The wicked are not so, on the other hand. They are like the chaff. They are prepared for the fire. The chaff is to cast into the fire to burn. You burn the rubber. You burn the garbage. The wicked are not so. They are not like the righteous. They are mimicking. They believe they are, but they are not. But are like the chaff which the wind, again the Spirit, blows away, blows them away, and heap them up for destruction. Therefore the wicked shall not stand in the judgment. When Yahshua the Messiah sit to judge, the wicked will not be able to stand. Their knees are going to be bucking. They are going to be taking their walk on the side to the Hinnom Valley, down into the pit of destruction for the fire. They will not be able to stand up. They will have to keep walking as they pass before the judgment throne. No sinners in the congregation, even today, Yahweh is warning that he's not going to tolerate sinners among his people. They're not going to be his guests, as some translation put it. He is the one that is not going to tolerate them. Yahshua the Messiah showed that to us when he walked this earth. And he saw so many in the congregation doing what displeases Yahweh. And he was filled with righteous indignation. And he took the whip and he had them some. And then he saw those who were not properly well attired. And he said, take them out, cast them into outer darkness. The sinners are not going to be Yahweh's guests. They are not going to remain in the congregation of his people. For Yahweh knows, and we can pause there, he knows all things. The secret of the heart belongs to him. The heart is deceitful above all. Yahweh. No, he knows the heart. He tried the mind and the heart of man. He knows the way of the righteous also. And the way of the wicked, he don't want to wrong. They shall surely perish. He's looking for righteous deeds. He's looking for goodness and mercy, justice, to give shalom, peace, and lasting peace to those who uphold righteousness. He promised one day. And Yahweh continue to bless us to strive to keep his laws. Is very important for us. There is nothing else that we can do, have to do, but following the ordinance that he has given to us. You can't live a life like that without being a law-abiding citizen. What will happen to you? Yahweh, as ambassadors of his, we proclaim that the commandments are to be observed. Wherever we are in this world, we are ambassadors, and we cannot allow anyone to pull down the Torah and put it under the feet without us saying anything. No ambassador of another country will come into another and have anyone speak against in such a disrespectful way of their life. They uphold the laws and what their man stand for. And we are ambassadors of the kingdom. And so we must uphold the laws of the kingdom of Almighty Yahweh that is to come. And this is what he's looking for, righteous deeds. He knows, and the way of the wicked shall surely come to nothing. Now we